But I will say one thing that I think that has translated from law to acting is ability to analyze has been really, really helpful, and like kind of just breeze through reading material has also been substantially easier. Just because I've had to do it for so many years. It's just a different medium, and instead of talking about legalese, you're talking about words and emotions and feelings that you're memorizing and trying to understand on a page. So that has been very, very beneficial, I will say.
Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast, as always, hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 571, 571 of the podcast. I just did a sing-songy intro. You're welcome. Phenomenal guest today. So much fun to chat with. Before I introduce the guest, even though you know who it is, castingfor2.com is the perfect place to go to where you want to be in the know as far as, hey, what service is this podcast on? Spoilers, all of them. Can I follow him on the socials? Can I buy some swag? Also, why are you talking with attitude? Or asking questions with attitude? Castingfor2.com. Go to it. Bask in its glory. You're welcome. And yeah, my guest today is a phenomenal actor. He's also a phenomenal attorney. Mr. Nico Wan is on the podcast, and what a cool guy. We just had a good chat, and this was a fun chat, and I got to pick his brain about the law side. He doesn't go to court, but still, I was fascinated with this, an actor and attorney. I can't talk. You know what? I'm done talking. All right. Anyway, so let's get into this episode. You got to listen to Nico, and so let's get it going. And Nico, take it away. What did you do during the weekend, I should say?
My friends and I just rented a space out by Joshua Tree National Park, and we just like hung out and grilled, and just did very like casual things to get out of the city. I did have a crazy rabid dog, like an American pit bull, randomly run after me.
Oh, okay.
The owner, I was walking along this residential road that we had rented an Airbnb at, and just like going for a nice like sunset walk,
right?
And this I just stopped to look at the view, and suddenly I hear barking, and I hear the owner calling this pit bull's name, and then I'm looking at this pit bull, and it's running towards me, and I'm thinking, oh, what a cute puppy, like, yes. Oh, you're so cute.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, you're here to kill me.
Yes.
And like it was, I think the owner and the pit bull were 3-4 houses down across the street, so I was no way near their area. So it was just it felt like I was living in a movie, to be very frank.
Yes.
And then I started running for my life, to the point where when you run and you start getting tired because you've like run enough for your own body.
Oh yes. AKA like 2 feet for me, but yes, I understand.
No, not at all. But like that feeling where you're like, I'm tired now.
Yeah.
And I look back and the dog is still behind me, and there's no one like out in the residential area. Effectively, I ended up being very lucky, and I outran the pit bull.
Wow.
But I was genuinely very appreciative of life after that, because I think that even though it was a pit bull, it was like I could have gotten quite injured, I would say, and my friends would have had no idea, because I was just being like, oh, it's such a beautiful day on Sunset. I just want to go for like a lovely walk and like around and see the neighborhood around us.
Yeah, I relate to that on so many levels, because I am guilty of, I would have done exactly what you said. Oh, hey, look, a puppy, except I wouldn't have ran. I would have just stood there, and whatever happens, happens. I've been in animal
No.
attacks
Oh no! Oh my
where,
God!
I mean,
I'm sorry.
oh, no, it's fine. I was fine. But I just, I accept my death by puppy. You know, I'm fine with that. We have a dog and we moved into a new neighborhood and we
Yeah.
were walking her around and we went down the street that we've never been through. And,
Yeah.
she's a beagle and another beagle popped up and I was like, look, a beagle.
Yeah.
And behind the beagle was this giant horse dog. I don't know the breed. I'm so bad with breeds.
No. No
But
worries.
then, of course, that dog wasn't leashed and it came running towards our dog. So again, at that point, my reaction was, well, I need to get my dog out. So I'm going to do the one thing they tell you not to do because again, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to get in between these animals and we'll see what happens. And so I did. And, my girlfriend was freaking out, but I was just like, no, this dog is not hurting my dog. It has to hurt me before it gets to my dog.
Well,
so
that just means you're a good owner, though. Admittedly saying, I think that is I think that's a testament to yourself. Were you injured? Were you okay?
Yeah, I was fine. Yeah, I was perfectly fine. If there's a way to go, that's how I want to go. You know, peacefully, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
But by puppy, I'm fine with that.
By puppy, I think is better than by, man, I will say.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So yeah, and there was this one time I was getting donations for my high school marching band, and the door opened and a dog came flying out and started, like scratching my chest and all that.
Oh, no.
And the person I was with, cat owner, booked it to the other, the other side, just wherever. Sure. And I'm still standing there with my sales pitch of trying to get a donation. Because
you're a trooper.
I'm not realistically, I know me, I'm not going to outrun a dog. I don't, I don't have that skill set of, I can't run fast. I can't run long. And I'm just like, whatever. So the nice thing is I was perfectly fine. And then I got that donation because she felt bad. So.
Well, hey, you got the job done, which
exactly.
is really the final end of it all, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing this with me. I will consider it. I think for me, it was one of those instant gut reactions. Maybe you're willing to let go. For me, I was like, ooh, I'd never felt like scared before.
Yeah.
But, I appreciate, maybe I'll look at it a different way. I'm trying to not be scared of dogs after this. Because I love dogs.
Yeah.
But pit bulls might give me a scare from now on moving forward.
No, that's understandable. Like I've grown up around dogs. I've owned many a dogs. So to me, they're just dogs. They're, like, even if I see a wolf, I mean, like, hey, that's an evolved puppy or, whatever.
Well, that's the whole thing. I'm used to going, I go back and forth to Joshua Tree at least once or twice a year, just because it's really peaceful there.
Yeah.
And I do believe I try to wake up for sunrise mornings because you can see the moon and the sun all in one dome, and it's so beautiful. And I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm used to wolves and coyotes, and so I've seen coyotes walking alongside the street with me, and I've never been they've never bothered me. I've never bothered them. It's a very peaceful interaction. So I think for me, it was just so shocking seeing something come at you.
Right. Yeah. What part of the Pacific Northwest did you grow up in?
So I was born in Washington, but then my family moved to Vancouver, Canada, when I was just a wee one. So I will say that most of my young adult life has been in Vancouver, Canada.
Okay, because I'm from Oregon, so I understand.
Oh, amazing.
I understand the Pacific Northwest very well, and I went to school in Victoria, BC, so I understand Canada. I shouldn't say very well, but I'm all for it. I love that vibe.
Yeah, I think that like it's I also love Oregon, by the way. My
Mm.
really great friends are getting married in Portland in August this
Mm.
year, and I'm super stoked to go back and see them because then I'll have like a reason to go back to Oregon. Are you still living in Oregon, or are you
Ugh,
did you
I wish I'm in Texas.
Oh, okay. It's very hot right now. Where in Texas are you?
I'm in San Antonio, and it's,
Okay.
I stay inside. I keep the AC on, so I'm okay. But yeah, there was a week when it was hitting triple digits, and I was
Yeah.
just like, well, I'm not doing anything. So,
Yeah,
um,
completely.
but it when it hit triple digits for a couple of days, after that, it started raining. And I feel like
Oh.
whenever I get rain, I feel like that's the Pacific Northwest just being like, "Hi, don't worry about your grass. We got your grass covered for you."
Yeah.
So I'm just like, "Oh, thank you, Oregon, for everything."
I know. Well, I mean, I remember one time when I was going back, when I did a commercial out in Austin,
Hmm.
and I had some friends out there, and I remember being like, I loved Austin and I loved Texas when I went. Normally, when I've been to Texas, it's always been in like the fall, like October, November, so the weather's always been quite nice, at least for me. And then I
Hmm.
remember going August, and we went out for just like to grab some food and a drink or two, and um, on on the streets, and I was like, it is boiling hot,
Yeah.
even at night. Like I love all of you guys, meaning my friends, but I don't think I would love to be back in the hotel room right now, please.
Yes. Yes. Sorry,
Hello?
my dog was barking.
No, no worries. You're good.
I totally understand that, and Austin is one of the. Yes, the heat sucks, but Austin is just like Portland, but with worse heat or worse weather, I should say. So yeah, it's certainly a fun city, and uh,
Super.
yeah, and just I don't know, yeah, you just gotta stay inside.
Yeah. No, I'm learning that now. I now, fortunately, my close friends actually ended up leaving Austin,
Mm,
so I will go there and I will be like, "Hi, let's go hang out in like this Airbnb that I'm living in.
yes,
Let's stay there."
yes,
But Austin has
yes.
great food. People are so nice. People in Texas are very, very nice. And I learned what Tex-Mex was.
Mm-hmm.
I had a margarita. It was amazing. The works.
Did you hit up Sixth Street at night?
Yes, definitely
Yeah.
went to Sixth Street at night. Uh, that was like super fun. I think the first time I went was for so before I was in entertainment, I guess I technically still am an attorney. So I went
Mm.
to Austin for the first time for like an attorney conference, and we all
Uh-huh.
went out on Sixth Street, and that was super fun.
Oh,
We ended
okay.
up just like jumping around like bars and stuff, and as a young adult, you nothing's better than and it was such a different environment than what I was used to.
Right, right. Yeah, no, it's definitely an experience, and um, I gotta say, yeah. So you're technically an attorney still?
Yes, I am licensed and barred. I'm barred and still have an active license currently, correct.
Okay, okay. Now, does that ever have any crossover with your acting?
Um,
The
I mean,
theatricality of
I
being
would
an
say
attorney.
I don't think there is because
Okay.
I'm a very, at least for me, because I was in transactional work. So my
Mm,
background was private equity and venture capital. So I preferred not to like go to trial.
mm-hmm.
I think like litigation is something that I like because I like rules per
Mm,
se, but
okay.
I personally just didn't love the passive aggressive emails back and forth. Um,
Yeah.
and it just seemed, I think for me, law to me was so interesting and so intellectually stimulating, but I tend to be I would say, an efficient person. So
Hmm.
kind of the riffraff of kind of like dealing with personalities to get a job done
Yeah.
in the of like this is someone's life on the line or these are someone's civil rights on the line was just too much pressure for me, to be frank. So that's why I stuck to transactional. But even in transactional, I've countless times called opposing counsel being like, hey, we both know that this like clause doesn't matter. Like, can we just stop the back and forth and just call it aces? Because it's Friday night and we both want to not be doing this.
Right. No, I love that. So I love jury duty. Let me just throw that out there.
Oh, really?
I do like it because I want to get picked. And the 3 times I've gone, I've gotten picked twice. The third time was a total sham. And I don't know how I didn't get picked. Even as we were leaving, some of the people I was with were like, hey, how come you didn't get picked? And I said, I don't know. And I said that very loudly to the lawyers because I was super, I don't know, mad. I don't know. But anyway, on one of the big cases that I was on, just the lawyer was going ham and putting on a show, slamming his hands and I don't know, just all that stuff. And I was just like, oh, this guy would have been a great actor. Not in the sense that that's all you do is acting, but he is like, he's selling the character. He's trying to convince me this is the truth. And I was just like, man, why is there not more crossover with lawyers and actors?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's really interesting. People, when they do being a trial attorney and like delivering that monologue, essentially like opening statements, was actually quite fun for me when we did it like mock trials in law school. But I just think there's so much leading up to it that's like to get to that point to be the person that delivers it, you got to put in years and years of experience. But yeah, no, I think that it is really important because I remember taking trial classes before and in seminars and being like, oh, how you phrase the words are really important and the tone of your voice is important and the way you interact with the audience is really, really important. So, but I will say one thing that I think that has translated from law to acting is ability to analyze has been really, really helpful, and like kind of just breeze through reading material has also been substantially easier, just because I've had to do it for so many years. It's just a different medium, and instead of talking about legalese, you're talking about words and emotions and feelings that you're memorizing and trying to understand on a page. So that has been very, very beneficial, I will say.
Has there ever been a time when, you're doing your due diligence, you're going through, you're looking for things. Has there been a time when you're looking at a character and you're just like, honestly, with what I've read, he wouldn't do this or they wouldn't do that, or, just something like that in a character where you're just like, they wouldn't do this at all?
Yeah, I think I definitely have had that moment when I'm reading this, but I think that I'm also, I would say, quite new to the industry. It's only been maybe a year and a half since I've decided to like pursue it full time, and almost 2 years since I had the idea of it. So like I try and take things with a grain of salt, but in my analysis, I think that I'm quite logical, just given my kind of educational background, that I will be like, this doesn't make sense. This person doesn't do that. But as I've kind of grown in this past year, I can now learn how to analyze from this perspective of why that person would do something that is outlandish or outrageous, because as an actor who's analyzing a piece or a character, you kind of initially come into it with your own set of values, right? Or how you would see the world. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know, but to be very frank, having spoken to a lot more people and done more research about the backgrounds of these characters, that has allowed me to like question myself. So both a yes and no, a very lawyerly response to your question. It depends.
Well, okay. Well, I was going to do a Judge judge word, but I don't know any, so I'm not going to even try.
You're good. You're good.
No, well, because I was just thinking, having, coming into acting and having a little bit, you said you had a little bit more of a analytical brain.
Yes.
Was that kind of, I guess this will go in with the first question I asked, but is it kind of hard to break that analytical brain and just be like, okay, people are people. They're not machines. They're not robots. They can, when you think they're going to go left, they're going to go right. Was that kind of hard to get into that?
Yes, I would say when I initially started, I think that for me as an attorney, I'm so used to removing myself from the words that I read. And sometimes even when you have clients, both in litigation and in transactional work, you have to separate yourself from their emotions quite often.
Yeah.
Right. And so initially it was easy for me to kind of like develop a character, but then getting into the character was a very different kind of standpoint. Trying to understand things, as you said, as we parlayed about before, was it was like a hump that I wasn't used to getting through. To be very frank, when I decided to become an actor, I really took like 2-3 days, like nights, full days, including nights, where I would just be up kind of questioning my ability to be in touch with my emotions and to connect with people. And that kind of, very, very heartwarmingly opened myself up to like a world that I hadn't experienced for a very long time since I'd had to be a lawyer. So yeah, I like to answer your question. It does kind of affect my, like it did very much affect the analysis portion of my brain and how I approached my work initially. And now that's changed substantially. I think now I know how to separate when to use an analytical brain and when to use and just sit in your emotions a lot more and connect.
I love that. I love, and yeah, I'm glad you're able to separate the two. Cause I feel like, again, I have no idea what you go through both jobs. But I feel like it would kind of get tiring, trying to just be like, okay, I'm in this one. Okay. Let me shift my brain, or, just kind of try to shift between job. Do you ever just like, okay, you get home, I need 5 minutes for myself. I need to decompress. I don't know if you do a cold plunge. Like, I don't know. Like, do you ever just go, I need 5 minutes to center myself and then.
Super.
Yeah.
I absolutely do that. I think that even now I mean, I do some consulting on the side for fun with some old startups and some venture firms on occasion when they reach out to me, because I really enjoy the technicality and the thought process of it. I'm not necessarily practicing law actively, much less more of my work is strategy based. But when it comes to, like, right now we're in active development for a film that I'm making and I'm helping produce it. So it's, when we were doing a table read for it, because I was also acting in it, it's a really great example because I had to like introduce everyone and kind of put that business hat on, and then immediately be like, tell my co-producers and people being like, hey, I need like 3 or 4 minutes. I need you to lead the rest of the call as I get ready to like switch back into actor mode.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your brain I think I don't know how you operate in your thought process, but for me, at least, when I'm on business mode, it's very much like fight or flight all the time.
Yeah.
So you're always actively putting out fires. You're not able to connect. So you need to like decompress your body or like shock it into a system of being like, chill out.
Right.
So I definitely do that. Like, even before, if I have to code switch on anything, I definitely take 5 to 10 minutes to just like sit with myself. Yeah,
no, I love that. Cause I'm basically the same. I know we're just having a conversation, and I've, I don't want to brag, but I've done this for
brag away, please.
I've done this for over 10 plus years. So my process has gotten a little bit better where I can just, I feel comfortable with myself just to go in it. But back in the day, I would just need absolute silence. Everyone leave me alone. I have my research. I'm reading things thoroughly and going through, and I'm also hoping that the guest can't make it, because I'm just like, I'm so overwhelmed, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Super.
But after a certain point, I just said, why don't we just embrace the unknown and see what happens? And so that keeps me on my feet for sure. Like, I'm so glad that the dog story came out, and look, I didn't text you, hey, do you got any dog stories?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. You did. I can confirm you did not text me that.
So, and we're just having a conversation. Nothing, it's nothing, it's nobody's going to jail or, committing, I don't know, fraud. So it's fine.
Yes. So, I mean, yeah, no, I think it's actually really beautiful. Like, the moments that you find that are not scripted are kind of the best things. And that's something I personally, kind of bringing it back to your question as from lawyer to actor, when I first took an acting class, I try to plan out every beat.
Yes.
Right. But, quickly you learn that by planning out every beat, you're not really connecting with the individual. And the whole point is to connect. And so, first of all, you got to do your work and trust that you know everything that's going on, but to be able to sit in those moments that are different and make the scene and the story better. And that's just, not just for on camera, but in real life, I think that's it too. Having that freedom of trusting yourself and your ability and just enjoying being present when that moment arrives is exponentially important, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, and I love that. I'm a huge component of, acting classes, improv classes, like anybody should do an improv class, just because I feel like it teaches you to be more in the moment. And if you're a young actor, just like, look, sure, the lines are important, but you got to learn to, listen before you can act. So I love that.
Fully. And yeah, I used to be so scared of improv, but now I really enjoy it. I go to the Elysian to watch shows at times, and it's just really lovely seeing how quick and creative people can be, and teaches you to just trust yourself more. And I think that that's really, I feel like in our world, everyone has an insecurity, and so this really helps you kind of face your insecurity. And frankly speaking, I would say the least high stakes way possible, which is great.
Yes. I love that. And for the people at home who like to keep up with everything that you're doing on the online, where can they do that?
So I have an Instagram. I should be posting more, as I know, but my Instagram is Nicholas the Wan. It's NicolasThewan. So like, so that's it. That's pretty much it so far, I would say. I have some projects in development now, and we're working on a film right now. So things are in motion, but we're trucking through.
I love that. And but before I let you go, I just want to say, because I was looking at your credits, and one caught my eye, because I know it's a different project, of course, but I myself have a credit of Fireman, and I just thought, oh, that's fun.
Yes.
I just love that, those roles, fireman, policeman, chef, whatever job, they're always going to be around, and they need people to play them.
It was actually so funny that you bring that up, because that was like the first time I was like, maybe I'll just try something. And I kind of volunteered my time to be in this short. And I remember them asking me to be a fireman. I was like, yeah, sure. I'll just like do it for the sake of doing it. And super fun, except for the fact that like I have really, this is too much information, but I have really straight eyelashes,
Oh,
and
okay.
sometimes the eyelashes are so straight and sharp that they will poke inside my eye, and so that time they were poking me to the point where they scratched my corneas.
Oh no.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And so my eyes were swollen, and so I was telling them like, "Hey, I have swollen eyes. Like I can help out, but I can barely see. And like, you don't want to get a face shot of me because it'll look scary. I swear to gosh." And they're like, "No, no, it's fine. It'll just look like there's smoke in your eye." So I
Yeah.
remember that so well. So that's so funny that you bring that up. No one's ever brought that up. Thank you.
Of course, of course. And you know what? Again, a level of authenticity, even though, it's not smoke, but yeah, it's like, oh man, it's smoky in there. Anyway, here are my lines.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, completely, completely, completely. So
but yes, Nico, anytime you want to come back and just, talk more about dogs and how to, not get
how to
bit.
take your own life?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I would love that. But until then, you have a wonderful rest of your day, and you keep staying safe and healthy. All right.
Lovely. Thank you. You as well. It was so lovely speaking with you.
Oh, yeah. Likewise. But yes, you have a wonderful day.
Amazing. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.